welcome to Scrapping on the Fly. My name is Kristen, and I'm here with day 29 of Scraptember 2022. One more day, you all. And today's prompt is this sketch by Laura Alberts, and it is a fun sketch with 2 3x4 pictures. She has on here a long title and lots of journaling, which I'll do a little journaling, but not a lot. And then these little square mini clusters are really super cute. So I'm going to use the No Limits by Cocoa Vanilla. And I've got some 6x9 papers. I've got the accessory sheet. I've got some scraps I want to get used up. I have the puffies and embellishments. I have some legendary stuff in here as well that I ordered on accident, but they go really well with this collection. So, and then, like I said, I have some papers. I pulled out some of the papers from this collection that I wasn't sure what I wanted to use. And it's all to document these cute pictures of my cousin. And I've already done a layout of his birthday with this collection, so I wanted to continue that. I probably have at least 2 more layouts to do. So, we'll see. So I have my papers, my scraps, my embellishments, my little square punch, these cute pictures, and this awesome sketch. So let's see how this goes. So first things first, I go through and figure out what I want to use. And I noticed that she is using on her sketch, because she does sketches in color, that she's got a wood grain. So I was trying to figure out which best would go with the wood grain, because I love a good wood grain. It's hard for me with this collection because I love both sides. A lot of times in collections, I'm not a huge icon person, and so I usually will go for the B side of a lot of layouts. But these papers are all so gorgeous that I have a really hard time. So I'm going to go with this black star pattern just because it had the most contrast to the wood grain, as well as the fact that the scrap papers that I'm going to use to make the little squares are mostly lighter shades. So I thought that it would work better. So I cut the I think it's 6.5 by 4.25, and then I'm gonna well, it's actually 12 by 4.25, and I'm gonna cut it down a little bit. This right here, I cut into 4. It's 4 by 12, and then I trim off a part of it. Good gravy. But the little piece of the other piece of that I cut all together is a 4.25 by 6.25. But I cut it down to where I can put the 2 pictures on there. It's so cute. Oh, I can just scrapbook pictures of this little dude all day long. So I really, really, really want to use scraps. So for cutting these little squares out, it's the perfect time to do it. So I just set these little cut aparts that came out of the collection over here. I'm going to put things like that in that little embellishment kit instead of in my scrap bin. And so then I'm just going to start using my Creative Memories square punch. And this is the 1.25. And I'm going to, or 1.5, 1.25. And it's the biggest one. And I'm going to cut all my squares out that way. And I didn't really have a pattern. I was originally thinking I'd do 3 of each, but some of them were not a big enough scrap to do that. So I just cut as many out of those papers as I could. And so I'm going to use this piece right here of one of my favorite papers. And this is from the 6x8 paper pad, I believe. Maybe it's not. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to use that as this little piece in the background. And then I'm going to work on laying down the squares. I don't want the same one to be touching. I don't really want the same one to be corner to corner, although the star paper is going to be every one on each line. So some of those I believe they're very similar because there were 2 different star papers. So right now I have already, I think, attached all the squares down and the pictures in that scrap of paper. And these 2 little pieces right here are actually just the piece I tore off that scrap, and I thought I'd use the yellow side to, she's got like a little piece of washi tape or something there. I thought I'd use this little torn bit to kind of put here, but I like the gray and blue side better. So I go ahead and tape them and put them down. And it's just a little extra layer, a little extra something here. Like I said, in the sketch, it looks like it's a piece of washi tape. And so since I had the scrap and it was a perfect size, I figured it would work. And I think it did. So I am now going to try and figure out how I am going to embellish every one of these squares. Now, she had a lot less squares than I did. Since I was using my punch, I was pretty much going with however many would fit properly. I could have spaced them more, but I really kind of felt like if I would space them enough to cut out a line, it would have been really weird looking. So I'm just pulling embellishments out that I think are going to work on these little 1 1/4 or 1 1/2 squares. And I think it's a 1 1/2 inch square based on what I'm looking at in comparison to my grid on the back. So I think it's a 1 1/2 inch. You'd think I'd know, you all. I don't know. Anywho, so I did pull out some stars. I've got some little banners. Some of them I've cut. There were 2 tickets in there, and I cut the end of them off that say admit 1, and one of them is up there on the second one down, and then one's down closer to the bottom. And then I have this really cute thing that says something about being certified legend or something. And I think that's totally fitting because he is absolutely fabulous. And then I am going to just make my own little banners because I didn't have any more that were going to fit. Like I was going to use that Best Kid pennant right there, but it won't fit in one of the squares. And if I tried to cut it down, I'd lose a lot of the good stuff. So I just left it alone, figured I'd make my own. So I just actually took scraps from what was left over and trimmed little skinny, or some of them are skinny banners, and then cut them and put them down. And later I'm going to bring in some of my puffies and add to them. So I like the way that these turned out. It's like a mini embellishment on every on every little square. And I'm okay with that. Although if you're working with 1 1/2 by 1 1/2, you don't have a lot of room. But it was a lot of fun trying to find ways to make each of them pop a little bit. Because like that top green square is kind of like just disappearing because that star just is not bringing a whole lot because it's light grayish black color. So I decided to add a couple little puffies, and it helps bring your eye there. And so most importantly, people are going to be looking at the adorable part of this layout, of course. So, but there's a little something for you to see in every square. And I've got a couple of word phrases in there. One of them says shameless. And then I think I build one down on the bottom left. I think it says best day ever, but I can't remember. I did the video and the layout yesterday, and I was too tired when I got done to actually redo the voiceover, and now I'm doing it today. So I pull out this high five collection of thickers and decide that I'm going to title this Oh So Happy, because he is the happiest kid. And I wasn't really sure what else I might want to label it or title it. I mean, I could have left it alone and titled it Certified Legend, but I thought that this Oh So Happy was perfect. So I put that down on here, and I am going to go back later off camera and glue those down because these are a little unsticky right now. So, but I mean, they stay on the page, but I don't know how much life there is left in them. And then I was looking to see if there were icons, and there is one star left. And so I put it up here on the sketch. There's like a flower or something. So I thought this would be appropriate to bring the stars over to this side where there's not really any of that on the layout. And then I'm just going to get a Zig memory pin and write a little note about this being my cousin's first birthday, and he is bouncing on one of his first presents. So I really enjoy this. I feel like overall it's a pretty simple layout. Here is Laura's sketch again. I hope that you all will try this because it can be a very simple layout or a very more is more layout. And I would love to see other people's take. I cannot wait to start hopping along on today's sketch. So I am trying to play catch up. Every day I try and watch a little bit more from the playlist, which is below the hashtag. Will take you straight to the playlist, and you can just start from wherever you want, and it'll just take you on and on and on. Oh, 100% Wild Child. Yep, totally. So I am so grateful for you all. Thank you so much for coming, for watching my video. I would love it if you'd give me a like, subscribe if you haven't, and I hope you all have a fabulous day. Happy scrapping.